Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Career Vision webinar series by Training Vision Global Education. We're so thrilled to have all of you just a day before India's independence, and freedoms that we all need to have, especially as young professionals or students, is financial freedom. And the whole aspect of financial literacy or financial intelligence or planning is so critical and somehow undermined or under emphasized in conventional education today. That they should be the life skills as well as the 21st century to future-proof her or his career in that sense. So today on the Career Vision webinar series, which is a series we have been doing to bring about career awareness, because the new normal has disrupted the jobs landscape. The future of work is quite different from what we have seen. The nature of work, the way we work, where we work, how we work, all of these things are changing. And careers especially are therefore being impacted substantially. So how do you plan your finances? How do you plan your wealth? And what is this prosperity formula? Right. So that is what we're going to explore today. I'm so happy to have uh, an entrepreneur, a spiritualist, a good friend, Souvik Ghose today with us. Souvik is the co-founder and CEO of Prosper Wealth. He has been working in finance for the last 7 years, and his goal is to make financial services simple and easily available by creating affordable product and leveraging technology. So now I've known Souvik for some time, and he's an absolute fun to spend time with, and there's a lot to learn from Souvik. So I'm so excited to have you, Souvik. Souvik is also a deeply spiritual person, and he's been meditating since the age of 18. That's another thing perhaps we'll cover in another webinar, which is on mental health and mindfulness. Souvik is a heartfulness meditation trainer and guides people who are willing to learn meditation completely free of cost. His other passion is also historic vehicles. He enjoys gathering and sharing knowledge about vintage and classic cars, and he's also the founder trustee of Classic Drivers Club, and he's also the youth advisor of Federation of Historic Vehicles of India. So Souvik tuning in from Hyderabad, albeit he's from Kolkata, and so excited to have you, Souvik, and so excited to learn from you, especially on the prosperity formula and what it takes to understand finance and wealth.
Right. Thank you, Aditya. And I hope you guys can hear me. And welcome to all of you guys. And thank you for considering me as a speaker for your program. And I thank TVI Global, Aditya, Siddharth, for giving me this opportunity to speak about something that I deeply care about, and about prosperity, the concept of prosperity. So much so that we've named our startup Prosper. And thank you for giving us the liberty to sort of deviate a little bit from the initially discussed topic, and sort of we want to talk a little bit more about wealth creation, and also a little bit more than that, and that's where the concept of prosperity comes in. So before we get into what the prosperity formula is, I'd just like to take a moment and sort of ask you all, or like to know, what is the purpose of this seminar? Why are we here? Why are you here? Most of you are students. What is the reason that brings you here, and what are you expecting to learn from this by spending your time here, right? So do we have a chat box, something, Aditya?
Yes, Souvik. Yeah. I think some of our viewers are also tuning in
Right.
from other platforms. So yeah.
So, okay, in the interest of saving time, I'll sort of, skip over the
Yeah.
rhetorics and sort of go ahead. And with what is prosperity, and this is something, this is the core of our talk today. And we like to know what prosperity is. And the definition which I felt is sort of resonates with us is prosperity is wealth with purpose, right? That's why I wanted to speak a little bit about purpose, is that it's sort of, can you guys hear me?
Yes, Souvik.
We can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prosperity is wealth with purpose, right? So that's why I wanted to speak a little bit about purpose, because there has to be a purpose behind everything. Everything we do in life should be well thought out. It should not be reactionary. It should be premeditated and a conscious decision to do something or not do something, right? So the prosperity formula, which is something I've come up with from my own experiences, and it's something that's open for change. And I want you to sort of take from this, build on it, make it your own. I'm cool with that. Just make it your own, add your little bits. If you see I'm missing a few points, please feel free to let me know, and I'll be happy to add them to my formula. So in my opinion, this is what I feel prosperity is. And prosperity, the two parts we've already seen in the definition, which is wealth and purpose, right? These two are given in the definition, but what else is there behind prosperity? And I'd like to add health, right? Because without health, you can't enjoy any of the money or the wealth or whatever you've accumulated. There's people and there's passion, but that's not enough. There is something more to it. And in my opinion, the whole thing, prosperity, comes under a base of spirituality, right? That's the way I look at my life. There's health, wealth, the people around me, there's purpose in life, there's zest and passion, and underlying is spirituality. Now, what I mean by spirituality may be different from what you mean by spirituality. For the sake of understanding, please take spirituality as whatever you believe in, whatever gives you contentment and happiness to your soul, right? That's what I think spirituality is, right? So how we're going to do this is we're going to talk about what, why, and how. So each of the elements of prosperity that we spoke about, we're going to talk about the what, the why, and the how. So the first what is health, right? So people are changing, the mindsets are changing. Without health, health is wealth. You can't go ahead, you can't enjoy life, you can't be creative. And the way the new generation is progressing, happiness is the new rich, inner peace is the new success, health is the new wealth, and kindness is the new cool. Okay, so we see a little shift from the way people used to think. The youngsters, the current generation, think differently about health, happiness, what is the meaning of success, what it is to be rich, not just with money, with more than that, with prosperity, right? And kindness is the new cool. So now let's talk about how. Okay, so physical health. Okay, I'm not a doctor, not a physician, so I'm just going to skip through it very quickly. Exercise, all the usual suspects, eat healthy, regular checkups. You must have insurance and medical cover to sort of pay for the regular checkups. Another topic that even Aditya pointed out in the introduction is that people don't speak much about mental health, right? So as you have exercise for physical health, the exercise for mental health is meditation. Okay, then we have eat healthy. Here you have think healthy. You have regular checkups. Here we have heartsap.org. I want you guys are all tech savvy, go to heartsap.org. And what you'll do is you'll get access to an app on Android and iOS as well. And you can download the app, and sort of it helps you free of cost. You can learn how to meditate, relax, do all sorts of great things. And that is your equivalent of health checkups in your mental health category. and reduce stress. How you can reduce stress. Stress is basically caused by what? Activities that we sort of postpone, or we've not taken action for something. So you can reduce stress by identifying what action need to be taken and sort of take one step towards that direction. Okay, now second, what is wealth, right? And this is our core of today's talk. And I want to talk to you about the money game, or that's the other word, like some people like to call it, the money game, because it's not something that's found in nature. It's man-made. It's a game, and whether you like it or not, you are a part of this game. And unfortunately, our education system does not equip us enough to sort of know the rules of the game. The rules are not taught, they're left ambiguous. So that's why a lot of people suffer because of this. But in order to make change, sort of make a difference in the world, you have to play the game, get really good at it, and then help other people out, right? So in order to help others, you must first be in a position to help yourself. So if you're not in a position to help yourself, you will not have the capability of helping others. So this is not to be sort of misunderstood as selfishness. It should be sort of understood as being self-sufficient, reliant, and then using your knowledge, power, and position to help and uplift other people in society. So you have to understand the rules of the game before you can play it well. There's a quote, and this is something you guys need to like sort of think over it. Rich people play the money game to win, while poor people play not to lose. It's a very deep and profound statement, deep and profound. And the more you think about it, you realize that how flawed this system is, and how we must decide which part of the board we want to be, whether we want to play, we are playing to win or we are playing not to lose, right? So I'm going to talk about the rich mindset, and you can learn a lot about this from, there's a very old and popular book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Just buy it, read it. It's a bestseller, and it teaches you about the rich mindset. And I have not too much to add to it. This is just my take, but the fundamentals already given to you in that book. You can have a look at it there. Number one, stop complaining. Stop saying that, why is so and so rich? Why is Ambani, Adani, Jeff Bezos? Stop complaining. Their wealth is their problem. That's nothing to do with you. How do you get or achieve that is the mindset that you want to acquire. How do you do that, right? You do that by continuously improving, learning, and investing in yourself, right? It's a continuous process. It's not like you do one course or you learn something and that's it. It's an everyday process. You shouldn't be ashamed of talking about money and asking questions. Some people think that, talking about money, investments, and these things, salaries is not great, but you should. If you want to learn the rules of the game, you must probe, you must find out, you must take proactive interest into understanding how this game is played and how you can be better at it. Study the lives of rich and wealthy and successful individuals. The Warren Buffett is famously known to have said that if you tell me who your gurus are or your idols are, and I'll tell you what you will become, right? So we are emulating the people we get inspired by. We want to live the lives that they're leading. We want to do things they're doing. And by studying it, wealthy individuals, and sort of picking up from that and applying them into your life, you get better, right? Learn from others' mistakes. It doesn't cost you anything. You talk to other people, you sort of you see what other mistakes other people are doing. You learn from it. You're going to really save a lot of time, money, and effort, right? And the rich mindset is fundamentally, we're willing to take short-term pain for long-term benefits, right? You're okay being uncomfortable for a little bit to be comfortable for a longer period of time. And that's the basic mindset of rich individuals. This is called Finance 101. Okay, so this is, I've just cherry picked few topics and I'm going to rush through them because we have a lot to cover. And the first thing that we want to talk to you about is assets and liabilities. I want you to take a screenshot of this, or and sort of find videos and articles about this, and there's lots to learn, and I don't have the time in this seminar to go through all of it. And the first thing, if you want to get into finance, financial literacy, is to understand what is an asset and what is a liability. So in very simple terms, assets are anything that earns you money, and liability is anything that costs you money, right? That's a very simple way of looking at it. For example, if you own a taxi that you give out for rent and or to as an Uber, and there's an Uber driver who's your employee, he drives it for you, and at the end of the month you make 50,000 rupees or 80,000 rupees, so that becomes an asset for you, right? It's earning you money. At the same time, things that cost you money are your liabilities, your bill payments and things like that. So you have to understand what is an asset and what is a liability. A lot of fundamental issues stem out of people confusing liabilities and thinking they're assets, right? So that's something we need to be very careful about. The other thing that people, have a misunderstanding is income versus cash flow, which is one of the things that, today Aditya wanted me to speak about. Is income is basically, whenever you're engaged in certain activities and the result of that is some money, that is your income. It could be from your job, it could be from your business, it could be from your profession. The doctor sees patients and, he's remunerated, and that's his income. Okay, now what you do with that income will define how your future financial situation is. It's your money. You can choose to spend it. You can, on one day, you can choose to invest it. You can choose to give it away. It's your money. End of the day, what you do with that money will determine your financial future, success or failure. So cash flow, a lot of people like to talk about passive income. So this is basically you invest in something like a rental property. You own an apartment, and every month your tenant pays you rent, and that adds to your cash flow. So the more apartments you have that is generating this cash flow, that is your positive cash flow, and that is your that adds to your income. Now there will be maintenance, bills, taxes on those properties, and that's a negative cash flow. So the balance of negative and positive cash flow will give you your cash flow situation. And so that is income and cash flow. Now I want to talk to you about compound interest, which Einstein calls the eighth wonder of the world. Like, why would Einstein, who had no business, with finance, talk about compound interest? So, as the eighth wonder of the world, why did he not say, the Eiffel Tower is the eighth wonder of the world? He says compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, and this is something that needs to be demonstrated. So what I would like you to do is, in your free time, go to a compound interest versus simple interest calculator online. And I want to start with a small figure as 10,000 rupees, and you compound it annually in simple interest and in compound interest at 10% a year. And at the end of 25 years, I want you to see and compare the figures. You will be vastly, you'll be amazed at the sort of difference that, you find in the results of the compound interest and the simple interest. Okay. And this happens when you invest in the correct investments. If you make, and they're compounding at a different rate, your wealth is growing exponentially. It's called the snowballing effect, right? And please take time and to understand more about it from videos, books, whatever. Managing debt. Okay. Debt is not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of people, shy away from debt. If used correctly, creatively, debt can create, a lot of wealth. It can open many doors. Debt is not a bad thing. It is something that you have to live with. It is something you have to learn how to manage. Okay. Second thing is risk. Just like debt, you have to understand and manage risk. Risk is something that is cannot be avoided, right? And Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook says that the biggest risk of all is not taking any risk at all, right? And this is a profound statement coming from someone who's been there, done that, right? So we have to, the best way we can sort of understand, be familiarize, the best way we should do, I'm sorry. With risk, you must learn how to, you must familiarize yourself with risk. And the more familiar you become, the more you start understanding it and therefore managing it, right? The other thing is taxes. People, the government is your partner in profits in all your income, right? So we must learn how to manage that as well. So please go to your preferred chartered accountant, tax advisor, and understand where all you can save money in taxes. And, so you'll have a little bit more, which you can invest with and sort of, use it more with something that's more useful and important to you. So the other thing is frugality. You must learn how to be frugal. It is not just frugality is a sort of intelligence. You should know when you're sort of need to spend money and when you should not spend money. And this also comes from this concept of being penny wise and pound foolish. Some people are penny wise. They save every penny and then they make huge financial mistakes, so which sort of wipe out their income. So frugality is sort of learning and sort of balancing that, moderating that, learning how to live within your means. And these, I believe, of course, there are many other concepts, depreciation and things like that. We're not getting into that. This is what we want to share at the moment. Okay. So here's a step-by-step method I've sort of envisioned. Imagine a young person who's just starting on their life, have some debt, what that person would do to get out of debt and sort of live a more prosperous life, right? So first is you accept your situation. Nothing is going to come if you're living in denial. You have to make a firm resolution to improve your financial situation, right? The second thing is you have to learn how to be frugal. No fancy dinners, no iPhones, whatever it is, just learn how to become more frugal and wise with your money. Okay, quickly pay off your debt and reduce your liabilities, starting with the ones with the highest rate of interest. And I know I'm mentioning something as obvious as this, but I have counseled people, someone who's been in a situation where they have come into a little bit of money and they have an equal amount of credit card debt and equal amount of interest-free debt from borrowings that they have from their family members. And just to save face in front of family members, they were willing to pay high interest rates to credit card. And that's when I said, no, it's okay. It's your family. You can talk to them. You can delay the payment. First, get rid of all your credit card payments, So you have to be a little shrewd when it comes to money. You cannot take such emotional decisions. You must take financial decisions if you want financial freedom and success. So everything starts from saving money. Say you want to start a business, you need capital that can come out of saving money, or you can borrow it from friends and family. And if you want to move a job, you move from one job in a different city to another job in a different city. And the way you do that is you need some capital to help you sort of move in, help you sort of assist you in all the expenses that are going to come, with the moving of to a new city, to a new job, right? And that having a little bit of money always helps. So saving money, that would be the next goal. Then sort of insuring yourself against medical emergencies. So you should sort of, this is how you are managing risk, by getting insurance, right? And the other thing would be to create a financial plan. And this is something that a certified financial planner can do that for you. And you must take help to see and how you can create a family plan for your family and you as an individual, and sort of meet different needs at different points of your life, right? So another thing is to clearly define financial goals. That is, a financial goal is something that has purpose, an amount. There's a time aspect to it, an amount of risk that you're willing to take to reach the gains, right? So you need to have a financial plan and goals to go along with that, right? And invest in yourself. This is something I've learned from Warren Buffett, who's a mentor, and he says that when you're starting out in life, it is very important to invest in yourself, because investing in yourself will give you the highest returns. Okay, and this is something you'll have to trust and going forward. No, start saving in tax saving investments. There are many tax saving investments that a certified financial planner will be able to guide you to, right? So the other, what is people, right? Why people? You are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself. This is a very rule of thumb sort of way to go. The 5 people you spend most of your time with, you're going to be sort of exchanging energies, thoughts, ideas. You're going to be discussing the same problems, and the way you sort of break out of that is by changing your circle. Surround yourself with good people, surround yourself with people who are better than you, who you can learn from, who are willing to accept you and sort of help you grow as an individual. And we must eliminate all bad elements in our life, from bad habits to bad people. One bad egg, as they say, can spoil the entire basket. So we must be sort of brutal while cutting away people who are not helping us grow in our life. And now how do we know who's good and who's bad? That will come to it a little later. So now, okay, the how to become good with people, right? You surround yourself with the right kind of people. They are the people who are going to support you. They're not going to judge you. They're not going to sort of bully you. They're not going to sort of push you down. So surround yourself with the right kind of people, and you'll get good at. You'll see how easy it is to sort of be good with people, right? There's a saying, give and take. But even in that statement, if we sort of listen carefully, it's give first and then you can take. And this is something, whenever there's an act of giving, it should be selfless without any expectation. So you must give, and then if it comes, great. If it doesn't come, just move on from that. Don't worry about taking. Okay, service to others. This is a mentality that you can groom, how you can be useful to somebody else. Go out of your way to help other people. And that's how you can sort of build a relationship. And by constantly doing that, it becomes a part of your character, and service becomes a part of your character. Be humble. The last thing you want is you help someone out and then you say, I did this for you. There can be nothing more, nothing worse than that. So you be humble. You do something selflessly, and that's the end of it, right? Compassion and empathy. Put yourself in other people's shoes, and you understand what they are going through and how you can be of use to them. And that's very important. If you can be a friend to someone in need, don't think about how they can be your friend in need. How can you be a friend in somebody else's need? And they'll be a friend for your life, right? And follow your heart with courage, right? And your heart is the one which is going to direct you from good or bad. Is this a right person to be with? Is the right partner to be with? Is this the right person I should marry? All these answers are going to come from referring to your own heart. Okay. So there's another saying that I quite like, a quote. It's like, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. And we are social animals. We are social creatures. We need to go together, and that's how we are designed. And because at some point you will need help, and that's when you need to go, why you need to go together. So now we come back to the topic we first started, which is purpose, right? And so if I ask you what the purpose of human life is, I'll probably get a bunch of answers, but it will all come down to one thing. That is, our purpose is to evolve. We as a species, we take pride in being better than our previous generation. When when we do better in studies or financially or whatever it is, we feel happy that we did better, and our previous generation will feel happy that the next generation is doing better. So this, the innate nature of human life is to evolve and become better versions of ourselves. So how do you find your purpose? This is a long discussion, but we're going to break it down into small snippets for you to understand. First is you observe yourself in different conditions. How do I react in a certain group, in a certain place, with certain people, when I have money, when I don't have money? Okay, and you sort of observe as a third party on yourself, make that observation, right? You introspect, you brood over it, on why you do the things you do, right? Again, there's a why, you sort of keep reflecting on that. Then you experiment, change a few factors here and there, and you see how you're reacting, how you're responding, and then you implement those changes, and then you sort of repeat the process over and over again. And as you are filtering through the process, your purpose in life will become clearer and clearer, right? Now, one of the things that words that I like myself to be defined by is passionate, right? So passion. Life is too short to live boring life. So just whatever you do, put your heart into it. Just go for it. This is one life. YOLO. So just go and do it, but do it with a lot of passion, zest. Embrace your full potential. Be courageous and don't regret. And whatever your passion is, it should not be just for yourself. It should benefit other people in some way or form, right? And after you reach this point, you go beyond. Okay, as my guide, Daji Kamlesh Patel, he's this is something he said, and it resonates very deeply with me. Is passion is using others for your gains, and if you consume yourself for the sake of others, it is compassion, right? And it's beautiful, and that brings me to the base of the formula, which is spirituality, right? So the why of spirituality is spirituality builds character, right? So as you become more spiritual, you sort of start letting go of all the negativities and focus on the positivities, and that leads to character building. And when we consistently build these good habits, your character becomes cemented. So by using the word spirituality as my base, I've actually simplified my formula to a large extent, because with good character comes a lot of good attributes like patience, integrity, compassion, empathy, respect, dedication, being courteous, courage, all good things, strength, confidence, many good things. Now I want you to sort of go back to your days when you were in school, and I want you to think about your favorite teacher, right? There's always in schools teachers you like and teachers you don't like, right? So I want you to sort of think of yourself sitting in that classroom, and you sort of try and break down why you like certain teachers and why you didn't like certain teachers. And you will see a lot of these common traits you will find within these within the good teachers. Give me a sec, I just need to plug in my charger. Yeah, so a lot of good things you'll find in the teachers you like and the teachers you dislike for whatever reason. Now think of yourself 10 years later or 20 years later. Those same teachers are teaching in your school, and you are now the principal of the school. Okay, now there's a job opening for the vice principal's position. Which teacher would you promote to that position? Somebody who's disciplined, who's patient with the students, who's for years, for decades have been dedicated and disciplined and compassionate and joyful, or somebody who's lacking those things. So so that brings me to Narayan Murthy's quotation, and he's also come up with a nice formula which I've sort of used here. And he says, character plus chance equals success, right? Narayan Murthy, Infosys, he says that character plus chance is equal to success. So ultimately, if you're looking to be successful in life and the opportunity presents itself and we are not ready to seize it, we have not done the homework, we have not sort of build a character to that level, we might not be successful, and we may not be able to seize that opportunity, right? So that brings me towards the end of my presentation. And what are the key takeaways? So basically, be a good person and do no harm, be in sync with nature, follow your heart, create value for society, and sort of work with good people, and take care of your finances and that of your close ones, because that's ultimately your environment. If you're in a stressful environment because of finances, you're not going to be able to be creative, you're not going to be able to be passionate, you're not going to be able to sort of create value for society. So all of those things, a lot of it gets taken care of if you have a stable financial situation. And this is the last thing I'd like to say, is that you're able to sort of deal with your financial problems if you have a spiritual bent of mind. This is what I personally learned in my life, and I want you to sort of try it and live life meaningfully and with a lot of passion, zest, and happiness. So with that, I wish you all a very prosperous and happy life, and thank you for your time, and thank you for this opportunity. If anybody's looking for an internship, you can message Prosper space intern 2930024240. And if anybody needs financial advice on mutual funds or anything, you can call me. We have trained people to sort of assist you with your investments. And if anybody wants to learn meditation, you can join, Heartfulness, and go to any of the trainers who offer this service completely free of cost to anybody who wants to learn meditation. So with that, I thank you for listening to me and letting me speak about something that's very close to my heart. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Souvik. That was really insightful, and if I might say holistic. I think you've given not only the hints, and you've left a lot of food for thought. You've touched upon really important financial, financial really wealth creation tips, and some of the key terms that we all need to study and practice, and that cannot be within the scope of one small webinar, but you at least exposed a lot of the viewers, listeners, and those who are on the Zoom with us on these concepts. So thank you so much. If there are any questions, maybe we take one or two questions.
Sure.
I think I see there's one or two on the chat on more of a finance thing. How do you plan retirement, and when do you start planning? What is the right time for it? And what is I think you have already addressed financial freedom, but maybe you can take any of the question. There is a question on retirement, or there's another question on investing, I suppose, in the financial markets.
Right. So what I want you guys to do is sort of, there's a saying, don't react, respond, right? So ultimately, how we can sort of do that in our investment strategies also. Don't jump into Bitcoin because people are buying Bitcoin. Don't buy Ethereum because your friends are doing it. There has to be a plan. And today, the market regulators, SEBI, has made it very, very streamlined. So good financial advice is everywhere. Certified financial planners are sort of bound to give you advice that is in line with what the government is doing, with what the government is trying to protect you. So if anybody wants a financial plan, it's not going to be over a chat. We have to understand where you're coming from, where you want to go, how fast you want to go, how much risk you want to take. And for that, you need to sit down with a financial planner and sort of let them understand the situation that you're in, and how you can go where you want to go, right? So it's a long drawn process. It's not a simple process. But what I would like to focus on again is that it's not going to, there's no get rich quick scheme. It is a disciplined process over a long period of time that can really create wealth for you. There is no other way. You can read 100 books and they'll all say the same thing. Okay, so there's a question about financial freedom. It's the same answer. How to plan for retirement? The earlier and when is the right time? The earlier the better. The eighth wonder of the world, according to Einstein, compound interest will work exponentially the earlier you start off. So start off as early as possible. Have a plan for it. Have someone look into it, give you a plan, and sort of go forward in it. What's the difference between SIP, mutual fund, investments, equity, and term insurance? So how can we create a wealth with them in their 20s? So these are different products. Products are basically how. First, before you get into what SIPs and mutual funds, they are like the ways you do it. The point is that, have you defined where you want to go? What are you saving money for? What are you investing for? You should have multiple goals, like education, retirement, children's education, buying a house, a car. And once those financial, definitely you've defined that, then it's easy. And you can use various routes to sort of reach your destination. And the things that you're talking about are, just the modes of transport. So if you have to define your goal, your final destination, and the transports can be looked into much later. So, okay, how can we decide which IPO to invest? And so many IPOs are having this interest. So again, this is why I wanted to change the narrative, which is like, creating wealth and prosperity. I want youngsters to focus on prosperity, on like this investing IPO. Why do you want to invest in IPO? It's so risky. You want to invest in IPOs because you want to make a quick buck. There are many ways of making a quick buck, and IPO is like is hot these days. It's like people sort of are glamorizing it. But the point is that is IPO, my question to you is that, do you think that IPO is the right way for you to make wealth? Or is just a one-time thing and you can say, yeah, I participated in Zomato and this and that, right? So you have to, I want you to pause and stop and sort of ask yourself, why am I doing this? And that's why. So I'm not going to give any of you guys direct answers, because I want you to pause and I want you to be honest with yourself and say why you're doing what you're doing, and then hows can be taken care of later. Okay, is gold more valuable than other things as most Indian households treat them? Gold has always been a safe investment, and it is a part of our culture, whether you like it or not, to invest in gold. Yes, are there other investments that are better than gold? Yes, and there have been, but we are also social and cultural creatures, right? So, if you ask your parents whether to invest in gold or whether to invest in something else, the chances are, as Indian parents, they're going to tell you invest in gold, and that is our culture. But now the point is that, why are we investing in gold? Whether is it are your parents asking you to invest in gold because of they become a part of your family wealth, or as an heirloom, or why? There are many layers behind why people make investment decisions, and it's very important to be clear about those things. What are the best career options to pursue in finance sector? This is very interesting, and I was new to finance, a few short years back, and I didn't know where to go, and it was very difficult for me to find a footing, and so I basically saw, who are the industry leaders, what are they doing, and who do I want to be like, whose life do I see as interesting? Do I want to be that guy who wakes up in the morning and he's on his trading desk, 9 to 5, always, finding the next trade, and he's always on Telegram trying to find out, which stock is hot today, which is going to move, what is Rakesh Junjunwala buying, and just be sort of stressed about how the positions are, and I said, no, that's not me, and that's not what I want to do. So for me, I felt that financial technology, this fintech, that is a nice sector for me where I can make a difference. Technology is new, it's happening. Financial technology is like absolute in its nascency today. And one statistics I want to leave you with is that only 3% of Indians invest in the stock markets. There are various reasons, good reasons, bad reasons why that happens, but there is a huge untapped potential in any developed country. It is over 50%. Okay, fine. You want to take India's population and say, oh, we have such a large population, 50% population investing in stock markets is not going to happen in the next 100 years. Fine, I'll give it to you. But from 3% to 10%, that is the growth that, you can see 10% of India's population investing in the stock markets. And since the pandemic, the whole thing has accelerated manyfold, almost like it's unprecedented amount of the amount of new sort of trading accounts, brokerage accounts that have opened after pandemic during the lockdown is in 1 month is more than what had happened in the last financial year prior to that. So this is the number of youngsters getting into this this game. It's unprecedented. So but what's going to happen is there is going to be a little bit of consolidation going forward. And financial technology companies, and it's anyone's bet which one is going to do better, but financial technology is where you want to be, because that's in its nascency. You're young, you can learn tech very easily, compared to a lot of people who have been in the financial industry for many years. Very difficult for them to sort of understand new tech. And here you have an advantage. You grew up with a smartphone, you grew up with the internet. It's very easy for you to sort of add value to that, and fintech is where I want you to sort of focus on. And that's my recommendation. Okay. How to build habit for wealth creation. As any habits, I think this is the last one we'll take.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. As any habit, it comes from being consistent, So you have, the idea is to have a plan, stick by it. Don't do one thing one day and something else the other day. Have a plan. But markets are dynamic, right? So what you've planned for today, the markets can do something different 6 months later. So be in a position where you sort of are flexible and are able to sort of evaluate a situation in the future and keep scope for sort of making adjustments as you go along. And that's how you consistently build wealth over a lifetime. So that's about it from me. So
thank you, Souvik, and thank you, everybody. I think the finance sector is especially fintech, is really interesting in terms of career options. If any of you are starting your career, definitely you may want to check check that area. I myself am fascinated by a lot of interesting, not only financial products, but even insurance products, or even credit card products, neo banks that are coming. So
that's right.
I like to study sectors and economics, and I see this fintech is really it's still nascent in India, unlike other developed countries, like what Souvik was saying. But if you look at some of the startups that are coming in this space are also very interesting, and I think there's a lot. And the beauty is most of them are leveraging technology, right? Technology is at the base of it.
Absolutely.
And there's also this, at least many people are trying to make it democratize this wealth creation. And do check out Souvik, do check out Prosper, do check out what he's doing. I think they're doing a lot of good work. I learned a lot about value investing and all sorts of things from some of their materials. So let me also sell you all. I want to sell an investment product for you all. So this is our Enabled Career Accelerator program, and if you want to in yourself and I'm not saying this. Souvik said this. Investment in yourself is the best investment. So what we have is in September we're launching a Enable Career Accelerator program. This is a live training program on the 21st century core skills. As you all know, Training Vision Global Academy is a social enterprise. We are really interested in bringing uh, higher order thinking skills, cognitive skills, and behavior skills, which usually prevent Indian students or young professionals from achieving their best even in their early career, right? And achievement could be in terms of a salary package, or in terms of achievement could be in terms of performance and productivity. Achievement could be fulfillment, and in having the feeling that you're really fulfilling your potential, highest potential at work, right? So we really believe in the maximization of humankind's potential. And we've curated this program from the World Skills Qualification Framework, the Skills Future Singapore framework, basically, which has a variety of programs. And these are 9 modules we've particularly picked, right? Personal productivity, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, adaptability, interview skills, collaboration. Especially in this age of remote work, we believe that for you to be an entrepreneur or to be an entrepreneur, I think this is a fantastic program that will accelerate your career in any which way. And beyond this program, which again, the outcomes are that you develop personal excellence, relational excellence, performance excellence, and stewardship. How do you steward initiatives and work with others, right? So we're also doing career services. We have probably we'll look at prosper as well, placement partners. So we have international placement partners, students from Singapore and from other parts of the world. We also have internship opportunities, or even part. We do the C-review and interview coaching, and we do this by a particular assessment, which is the ENCODE assessment, which is an AI-enabled personality and behavioral assessment attached and with your CV to get improve your higher rate of recruitment, or more chances of getting recruited for companies, as this is a highly valid and robust personality. So what we also do is we do a before after assessment, so you also understand that how you are growing through this program, and it's also very transparent to see where your strength areas are, where your weaknesses are, what is a good career, where do you really fit into in terms of career. And we're always around, available. For the first cohort, we have a few trainers lined up, some of the best trainers from Singapore and India, who will be hand-holding this program. We look at a very small ratio of, we won't have like 300 people in the cohort. We'll probably have maybe 2 trainers for 20 or 30 students max per batch, and few batches. So that's what we're looking at. And so do apply at bit.ly/TVI enable. I also wanted to mention that we're awarding. So this is usually upwards of 50,000 Indian rupees if you pay for in Singapore. We're bringing this at something like 15,000 rupees. Nevertheless, the early bird pricing is at 7,000, and we want to make this as affordable as possible to everybody. And we're also awarding 5 scholarships for meritorious applicants. So when you're applying, please mention that you'd like a scholarship, and mention the reasons why you would deserve one. And so apply now and spread the word. We want as many youth to benefit. So feel free to share this with your friends and colleagues. And this is good for final year students or third year students, or young professionals who are 1 to 3 years into their career. This is a program that's designed for them. And that's pretty much it. And stay tuned. We will be bringing many more informative and insightful webinars to benefit you. We have a community that you can also join. I think all the details will be in the email. and do follow us on YouTube, and check us out on podcast platforms where these webinars will be available for you to, if you want to review and catch up later. We have that as well. So with that, uh, thank you for spending your weekend Saturday with us, or whenever you're watching. Thank you for watching the session. Looking to having you being part of the TVI family and community as well. And thank you so much to Souvik for doing a very insightful session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um,
My
and
pleasure.
and we hope to have Souvik involved in future events and endeavors. And looking forward to a good collaboration prosper as well. Souvik, thank you all. Good day.